Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am your All Sports Alpha, Leonardo Velasquez, and today we're doing a very special live stream just to kick things off for the week. And we are going to be giving our reactions to, game two of the NBA Finals, while we also will give our reactions to Roland Garros, which the finals took place over the weekend for the men and women. And it was an exciting weekend, and we will also be giving our prediction for game three tonight for the NBA Finals, which is an exciting game considering it is the first game at Madison Square Garden, and the crowd is going to be electric, and we are expecting a very, very hostile environment for San Antonio Spurs. So this is going to be a fun one to watch. But to kick things off, let's give our reaction to Roland Garros since that tournament finished, and we can just give our reaction to what happened over the weekend. To start things off, Mira Andreeva, she defeated Maha Kalawinska in straight sets. First set 6-3 and second set 6-2. And overall, this is what I expected. Mira Andreeva, she took care of business. She was playing with a lot of confidence in this tournament. She only dropped one set, and she was just conserving her energy, and she was playing amazing tennis. She did win a clay court title in Austria, and she put on a great performance in Madrid. She went to the finals but came up short against Marta Kostyuk. We mentioned that in one of the previous videos, and she just played a few matches in Rome before losing, and then that allowed her to go to Roland Garros a little bit early with some good preparation under her belt. And overall, I think this is, a big win for Andreeva. 19 years old, she's now, building a lot of confidence, and I think this is a huge step for her, a big step in the right direction. Being 19 years old and already winning your first Grand Slam, the sky's the limit. She's shown that she can play on all surfaces. She's pretty good on grass. She's pretty good on hard court, and she has proven that she can be a dominant factor on clay. And overall, Kwalalinska, she had a Cinderella run, going through qualifiers, having to win three matches just to qualify to be in the main draw of the tournament. Next thing you know, it sees her make it all the way to the finals by defeating some amazing talent. She was able to defeat Chingming Zhang. She was able to defeat Diana Schneider and overall other amazing players in a hostile environment. Diane Perry, the French woman that was in front of a loud crowd at Roland Garros, and I think overall she should walk away from this tournament with a lot of positive things. Give me 1 second. Let me just readjust the lighting here. Yeah, I think that's better for now. Yeah. So, yeah, going back to what I was saying, Maha Kwalalinska, she had an amazing run making to the finals. And I think overall now, something that we can look forward to seeing is just how she can perform as the season progresses. This is her first true breakthrough in a tournament. What a way to make it happen at a Grand Slam, higher prize money, more points to earn if you win your matches and the deeper you go into the tournament. So, that's my main takeaway. I expected Andreeva to win the tournament as she, advanced to the final by beating Marta Kostyuk and Kwalinska. We just got to see if she can carry that rhythm and consistency and that confidence that she got from, making to the finals of this tournament. And now that the grass season just started today, we got a few tournaments happening. One of the most notable ones is Queen's Club for the WTA, as we saw that the WTA brought back Queen's Club last year for the WTA Tour, which is a huge step in the right direction. I mean, it's one of the best tournaments, in my opinion, the best tournament before Wimbledon starts at the end of the month. And overall, I think this is, a time to see if some of these players can overall just stick into if some of these players can just carry some good rhythm that they got for the clay season. We just got a comment says, do you think soccer in the United States has become more popular in recent years than in the past? I would say now that the World Cup has gotten to the United States, I think it's going to grow a lot more fans. I think especially last year with the Club World Cup that we saw a lot of European players, coming to the States. And then, there are a lot of fans in the United States, I would say for sure, because the United States has such a diverse population, and people that come from all over the world who live here that speak different languages. Of course, it's going to have a big fan base. So I think now it's grown even more, considering that the Club World Cup took place in the United States last year, and now you have the official FIFA World Cup that's going to take place starting on Thursday. So I would say, yeah, the United States has grown more with soccer, more than more than it has in the last few years. So I think for now, we would just have to see what happens and how the fans handle it. So And yeah, moving on. So that's our first reaction to the first final of the weekend. And then next thing on our list, we have Alexander Zverev. He was finally able to capture his first Grand Slam title. And overall, I think this is something that the whole tennis world really hoped for, considering that he's won a lot of the big titles that there is to win in the tennis world. And he has a gold medal. He's won multiple ATP finals. He's won a lot of Masters 1000s, and the only thing that was missing from his resume is that one illustrious Grand Slam. And how fitting it was that it was Roland Garros. I mean, he said it in his post-match speech. He said that Roland Garros has given him the most disappointing and sad parts of his career, but now it has delivered the most special moment of his career. And he faced Flavio Cobolli in the final, and it was a five-set thriller. I mean, after the first set, Zverev took it six games to one. Second set, it became a little bit tighter because Kaboli was able to settle down. His nerves went away and he was able to start, making his way into the match. And, the second set saw Flavio take it 6-4. So it was one set apiece. And then in the third set, Zverev tightened things up. He was able to take that set 6 games to 4. And then the fourth set was where I personally thought that we were going to see Zverev close it, because I predicted that he was going to win it in 4 sets. But next thing you know, we saw him come up a little bit short. But it was a set where it was like a struggle for Zverev to maintain his rhythm, and Flavio Cobolli also was struggling to maintain his rhythm. At one point, Flavio was serving for the set at 5-4, but then Zverev broke, and then we saw the set get extended into a tiebreak. Since it was the fourth set, it was a 7-point tiebreak win by two, which saw Kaboli take it away with one good forehand up the right part of the court. And then again, it went to a fifth set shootout. Next thing you know, Zverev, he said it in his post-match press conference and even to the TNT crew. He said that his cramping is what allowed him to play more free. And I think it couldn't be more true. I mean, you saw he was playing, with a lot of nerves. He was making a lot of mistakes. And I think the cramping allowed his mind to focus more on the cramping and less on the moment. And then it just allowed him to just go for it, hit those game winners, hit those amazing shots, drop shots, play a little bit better at the net, but specifically from the baseline, because he did say that he was struggling to move during the match when he was cramping. So overall, I think this is just a big, big win for Zverev, first Grand Slam title in his resume. And who knows if this can, open up the floodgates. You never know if this can unlock something within his mentality where he can, win something, win more amazing Grand Slam titles. What's remained to be seen is if he can, really go toe to toe with Sinner and Alcaraz, maybe Djokovic as well, because we know Djokovic, I know Djokovic came up short against Fonseca this tournament, but I think for now, we just have to see if he can, you know, go toe to toe with those guys, because obviously Alcaraz is injured. So we'll see how Sinner does at Wimbledon. But for now, this is a big win for him. But I think this takes a lot of pressure off his shoulders. Next thing you know, we just got to see how he does at Wimbledon at the US Open. And he has made the finals at the US Open. So that is one tournament that I want to see if he can really make another deep run at a Grand Slam, maybe win it. That has remained to be seen. But for now, that is, our reaction to the two finals at Roland Garros from this past weekend. And now let's move on to the NBA Finals. So game two was electric. It did see a similar narrative. Spurs take the lead, but towards the end of the first half, you see the Knicks get the game closer, chip away at the deficit, and then in the second half they break through and they have the lead for most of the second half. And then in the fourth quarter, that's where we see a comeback from the Spurs. It was tied with about 20 seconds left in the game after a tremendous comeback from the Spurs, but unfortunately, Victor Wembanyama wanted to pass it to Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle was already looking down the court. The ball goes off his back, and it results in a turnover and free throws for the New York Knicks, and they were able to take away game two. And I think if I have to look at these first 2 games, it does seem like the Spurs have started off well, they've started off strong, but it seems like I would say that they just need to hold on to the rhythm, hold on to the momentum, and close out the games. And I think that, that lack of playoff experience of, being in the NBA finals. Obviously, the New York Knicks have already been in the playoffs multiple times. They've been in, these tight, close game situations before, especially last year. So I think that's what's helped them. But most importantly, another important thing to note is that the New York Knicks are on a 13-game winning streak. And when a team is on a streak, they're in rhythm. It's really hard to get them out of it. And that's the challenge that's going to happen tonight in game 3 with the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, can they go into Madison Square Garden and reclaim their status in this series, take back a little bit momentum, and, keep the series alive? Because as we know, if the series goes to a 3-0 deficit, it's practically a nail in the coffin for the San Antonio Spurs, since no team in NBA history has come back from a 3-0 deficit. So that has remained to be seen. And I think for now, if my prediction, if I have to make a prediction now for game 3, I'm just going to go with the New York Knicks. As I like to do in sports, whenever a team is on a winning streak, I never like to bet against them until they lose. So I would just say let's go with the New York Knicks to take a 3-0 lead, specifically because they are in Madison Square Garden tonight. So I think they're playing with a lot of confidence, now playing in front of their home crowd. I think it's gonna be something that's gonna be a tall task for the Spurs. We do know that the Spurs can be good on the road. They did show that in the Western Conference Finals against the Thunder. They went to Oklahoma City, won when they had to. So can they do it here? They are capable, but they need to execute in those late game situations. But for now, the New York Knicks are on that 13-game winning streak. I'm just gonna go with the Knicks to take game 3. But if the Spurs are able to take game 3, it definitely keeps this series interesting. They take back a little bit momentum, and then it puts the New York Knicks in a little bit of a tough spot in going into, game 4 if the Spurs were to win tonight, because they're going to start thinking we have to win this game because we want to go up 3-1. So it's going to be interesting, very exciting. And so far, that's all we have for today. And tomorrow and in the next few days, we will be giving our World Cup predictions, our World Cup analysis. World Cup starts on Thursday. It's going to be an exciting, exciting time for sports. And overall, I'm going to be looking forward to giving you some analysis and some predictions for the World Cup. Hopefully, we can do some live commentary for you guys whenever there's time. And for now, that is it for today's live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you tomorrow on the next one. Take it easy and enjoy the game.